The Invisible Customer. The warm afternoon breeze swept over the cobblestone sidewalk in front of the elegant restaurant La Terrasse, nestled in the heart of an upscale neighborhood. The illuminated sign, with minimalist golden letters, gleamed against the pink hues of the evening sky. It was Friday, and the waiters were already moving at a brisk pace. Glasses were polished with precision, napkins folded with care, and the day's specials were recited like poetry by servers trained to enchant. Across the street, a man walked with calm, steady steps. He wore worn-out jeans, a faded button-down shirt, and old sneakers that looked like they'd traveled many roads. His unshaven face and slightly messy hair didn't help make a good impression to those who judged by appearance. He held a small black notebook, its edges frayed. He paused for a moment in front of the restaurant and observed. The man stepped inside. As he passed through the revolving door, the elegant background music seemed to hush into an awkward silence. A couple gave him a once-over. A waiter approached, brow furrowed, offering a forced smile. "Good evening, sir. Can I help you?" "Good evening. I have a reservation under Daniel Cruz. Table for one." The waiter hesitated. He tapped quickly on his tablet and blinked in surprise when the name actually appeared. "Oh, yes, of course. Right this way, sir." Daniel was led to a table by the window and sat down without fuss. He opened his small notebook and made a few notes. He ordered calmly, but received curious glances from other diners and murmurs from the staff. When he asked for an imported wine, one of the waiters chuckled and said, "That one's pretty expensive, sir. Maybe you'd like to look at another option." Daniel looked up. His gaze was steady yet calm. "That one, thank you." Hours passed with fake smiles, impatient looks, and food that, though excellent, tasted like it had been seasoned with judgment. But Daniel wasn't bothered. He observed. He took notes. He paid close attention to every detail, how they treated important customers, and the coldness directed at those deemed beneath their standards. When he finished, he asked to speak with the manager. The man arrived in a hurry, still thinking it was a complaint. Daniel stood and extended his hand. "Pleasure to meet you. I'm Daniel Cruz, investor and founder of the Alma Gastro Group. I came to personally assess the restaurant before finalizing a partnership agreement." The manager's face went pale. The staff exchanged frozen glances. "Tomorrow I'll return with my team. I hope the service will be more aligned with the values we intend to promote." And he left, a heavy silence trailing in his wake. Chapter 1. The Silent Judgment. That same night, rumors flew behind the scenes at La Terrasse, faster than the clinking of crystal glasses. The waiters whispered in corners, stunned by the revelation that the man in the faded shirt wasn't just an eccentric customer. He was a major name in the national culinary scene. Claudio, the manager, ran his hands through his hair repeatedly, searching for a convincing excuse for what had just happened. Outside, the night remained peaceful. Daniel Cruz walked calmly through the tree-lined streets of the neighborhood. He boarded a regular bus, sat next to an elderly woman carrying grocery bags, and smiled. That was where he felt comfortable, among real people, far from the spotlight. It wasn't his first undercover visit, nor would it be his last. It was how he understood what truly went on in restaurants seeking a partnership with his group. Next day, just before lunch, Daniel returned to the restaurant. This time, he wore a clean dress shirt and had combed his hair, but remained unpretentious. He was greeted with an overly eager smile. The manager personally escorted him to his table. "Mr. Daniel, it's an honor to have you back. Our team is at your full disposal." But Daniel watched more than he ate. He noticed a single mother with two small children being seated near the kitchen, far from the prime dining area. He saw a waiter respond impatiently to an elderly man asking for help with the menu. Everything seemed carefully staged, except for the essence, After lunch, Daniel asked to speak with the entire staff. In a private room, waiters, managers, and assistants gathered. Some were visibly uncomfortable, others were merely curious. Daniel stood in front of them, holding the same black notebook. Do you know what separates an ordinary restaurant from an unforgettable one? Silence. It's not the food, it's not the decor, it's how we treat people, all people. He paused, looking each one in the eye. I grew up washing dishes in a small restaurant. I saw my mother treated with disdain because of the clothes she wore. And that's why I built Alma Gastro, because I believe a well-served dish must come with respect, or it's worth nothing. His words lingered in the air like a strong perfume. One of the older waiters, Miguel, raised his hand. Mr. Daniel, I want to apologize. I was one of those who laughed yesterday. I thought you were just another nobody. Daniel smiled. You don't have to apologize to me. You just need to do better next time. With anyone. Claudio, the manager, swallowed hard. He knew change was needed, and he knew that visit was a turning point for everyone there. From today on, this restaurant will be different, Daniel declared. But the change won't start with the menu, it will start in your hearts. And with that, he left them in silence, but for the first time, it was a silence filled with hope. Chapter 2. The Value of a Look. The following week, La Terrasse underwent a quiet but profound transformation. The staff, once indifferent, now made genuine efforts to treat every customer with respect and attention. The changes were not just superficial. There was a new spirit in the air, a shared desire to be better. Daniel Cruz observed everything closely, visiting regularly, but always discreetly. He knew real change came from within and couldn't be forced. That's why he chose to be a silent guide, offering advice and sharing stories from his own journey. One evening, a young woman named Clara walked into the restaurant. She wore simple clothes and carried a worn backpack. She looked tired, but her eyes sparkled with curiosity. As she approached the host stand, she hesitated, unsure if she even belonged there. Miguel, the same waiter who once laughed at Daniel, approached her warmly. "Good evening, miss. Welcome to La Terrasse. How can I help you?" Clara smiled shyly. "Good evening. I'm looking for a job. I saw the ad in the window." Miguel led her to a table and offered her a glass of water. "Of course. Have a seat. I'll get the manager." Claudio appeared shortly after. This time, his expression was different. There was humility in his eyes. "Good evening, miss. Clara, nice to meet you. I see you're interested in a kitchen assistant position." She nodded. "Yes, I have experience in community kitchens, and I'm passionate about cooking." Claudio smiled. "Here, we value passion. Would you like to start tomorrow?" Clara's eyes widened in surprise. "Really? Really? Welcome to the team." In the following days, Clara proved to be dedicated and talented. Her presence brought new energy to the kitchen. Daniel, watching from a distance, saw in her a reflection of his own story. A month later, La Terrasse hosted a charity dinner to raise funds for a local non-profit. Daniel suggested Clara prepare the main course. She hesitated, but accepted the challenge. On the night of the event, the restaurant was full. Clara presented her dish, a simple recipe made with love and fresh ingredients. The guests were delighted. After dinner, Daniel stepped up to the small stage. "Good evening, everyone. I'd like to share a story." He spoke about his first visit to La Terrasse, the prejudice he faced, and the transformation he had witnessed. "Today I see a renewed restaurant with a dedicated team and a welcoming spirit. And that's thanks to each of you." Applause echoed through the room. Clara, emotional, wiped away a quiet tear. That night, La Terrasse was more than a restaurant. It was a symbol of change, of empathy, and of hope. Final reflection. The invisible Customer reminds us never to judge others by appearance. Every person carries a story, a value, a unique light. When we open our hearts and minds, we may discover hidden treasures in those around us. True wealth lies in empathy, respect, and the ability to see beyond the surface. Enjoyed this story? Then subscribe to the Golden Words channel so you won't miss any others. Every day, we bring you touching and emotional stories. Leave a comment with the city and country you're listening from. Let's spread these stories worldwide.